Russia is expressing its displeasure with a new U.S. defense strategy that makes frequent mention of the increasing threat posed by Vladimir Putin's regime. Tonight, national security correspondent Jennifer Griffin at the Pentagon, where they are keeping a very close eye on the Russian leader.
New evidence Russian President Vladimir Putin, undeterred by NATO, is preparing to gobble up more of neighboring Ukraine. This aerial video shot by a drone on May 20th and provided by pro-Ukraine fighting units shows just a few Russian tanks and about 70 troops. 2 weeks later, video shows a large base replete with roads, trenches, and parade grounds.
We see a more assertive Russia trying to intimidate neighbors and change borders by force.
The NATO Secretary General spoke after inspecting one of 6 new forward bases the alliance is building in Romania and the neighboring Baltics, a response to Russia's actions in Ukraine. It's the biggest reinforcement of NATO's collective defense since the end of the Cold War. Meantime, the Kremlin responded angrily today to the new U.S. military strategy released by the chairman of the Joint Chiefs, calling it, quote, confrontational.
Since the last national military strategy was published 4 years ago, global disorder has trended upward while some of our comparative advantages have begun to erode.
Russia is mentioned 7 times in the 24-page strategy, even more than ISIS. Quote, Russia does not respect the sovereignty of its neighbors, and it is willing to use force to achieve its goals. Russia's military actions are undermining regional security directly and through proxy forces.
Mr. Putin is very clear that he does not want Kiev leaning to the West.
General Breedlove estimates 7,000 Russian troops are currently in Ukraine, despite Russian denials. Last month, Ukraine's leaders presented an intelligence dossier to the White House and Congress that names 5 Russian generals commanding the Russian-backed separatists.
Putin's got lots of time to do this. He's in no hurry. He's waiting for the opportunity to be about right, and then the Russians are going to continue their advance.
The Kremlin announced today that Vladimir Putin will meet with Iran's president at a summit in Russia as extended talks about Iran's nuclear program enter a final phase next week. Shannon?
All right, we'll discuss that and other foreign policy issues with the panel coming up. Jennifer Griffin at the Pentagon, thank you.